But the Most High has made everything beautiful in its time, because within that fallow ground, that hard ground, Yahweh Shai is breaking it up in certain individual men to receive this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in these proper times, in the seasons. And it's each brother's time of a season.
So that no man can find out the work that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai maketh from the beginning to the end.
The depths of the treasures of the wisdom and knowledge, like I read in Romans. No man can find out, right? At least he open you up. At least he gives you this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and pours that influence into you, man. The word influence goes back to be something pouring into you. It's like the influence that we get is from the heavens, which the wisdom comes down from the heavens, man. It's spiritual dew, spiritual water that you know, like dew in the morning. It sits upon the grass. That's how Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is laying his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on top of each brother's minds, man. Your spirit. And he's keeping you moist, not dehydrated, you know? Because that's what he's liking Israel as, to be a valley of dry bones, man. But he has set the world in the men's heart. Why? Because it wasn't meant for them to find this on their own, man. But he had made everything beautiful in its time, and this time is beautiful right now, 2019, because brothers are waking up, man. Everywhere. Meaning that we're close to the return of Yahweh Shai, man. Prophecy is going to be fulfilled. Prophecy is speaking right now. And it shall not lie. Wait for it. It shall not tarry. Wait for it. It shall surely come, man. I think that's it on there. Go to 2nd Ezra 15.
Take back up in verse 1.
Nah, just where you left off. Was it verse 2, 3?
Verse 2.
Go ahead.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 2. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee.
Fear not the imaginations against thee.
Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
Right, the word incredulity means disbelief. So that's what we experience out here with these people. They're non-believers. They don't believe in anything. You know? So don't worry about none of that stuff. Just do what the Most High has prescribed. Go on to the highways and the byways and preach.
It says, verse 4, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
All the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, man.
That's right.
And we're not just saying it. This is written in the Bible, man. In the New Testament, all those that do not obey the gospel shall be put to death, man. The Most High is going to send his angels to go into the earth, his kingdom, and gather all things that offend and bind them up and cast you into the fire, man. All things that are wicked and that offend in his kingdom, you shall be bound up and cast into everlasting fire, man. Which is what? By way of the ICBM missiles, man. That's it. You shall die in your unfaithfulness. What happens when a woman's caught in the act of adultery? She's supposed to be put to death. She's supposed to die. And a lot of people are being found unfaithful.
It says, verse 5, behold, saith Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, I will bring plagues upon the world.
Right, he's going to bring plagues upon the world. America. Okay? That's why you're hearing about all these different, the black plagues here. You got measles springing up, mumps. You got all these different viruses that are mutating. You know?
It says, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
Yep.
For wickedness hath this exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Yep. So the Esau's time, his number is up, because all the wickedness that he has pushed out, you 2/3 have pushed out, has reached the heavens, man. You know, get Jeremiah 51. Great Babylon has been the golden cup in the Lord's hand. While the brother gets that, I'm gonna read this one real quick. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. And we're telling you they're not slack. How does it say in Peter's? The Lord is not counted as slackness, his promise.
As men count slackness.
As men count slackness. But there is a part right before it. Let me see. It says 2 Peter 3:9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise. And what's one of his many promises? That he's bringing these plagues upon Egypt, America, right? The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as men count slack. As some men count slackness. See? So going back over here to 2 Ezra 16:37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Because when a woman is ready to conceive, there's no stopping that, man. You ain't stopping that child from coming out. It's time for it to come out. The water's gonna break. You already know what time it is. That sack busted. So that child is ready to come through that canal. Going back into that water, man. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. You see? Why? Because of their unfaithfulness, because of their disobedience towards the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. Their ignorance. The Lord had the controversy with the inhabitants of the earth. Why? Because there is no knowledge of him in the earth. There is no truth. There is no mercy. Go ahead.
It was Jeremiah 51 and
Jeremiah 51 and verse 6.
This is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her recompense.
Right, so how are you supposed to flee Babylon? Not by going to Israel, not by going to Mexico. Like you got stupid jackasses on the internet that think they're prophets telling people to go to Mexico. You know who I'm talking about, you motherfucker from Denver, Colorado. You ain't from Pueblo. You're telling the Issacharites to go to Mexico. You had Bubble Eye Blackfish from GOCC telling people to go to Israel. What happened to Bubble Eye? He came right back. Northern Kingdom Prophet, why aren't you in Mexico? Why aren't you setting the example to go? Take your ass to Mexico then. And see how long you're going to be there till they drive your ass back over here to America, boy. You're not speaking according to the prophecy, man. You don't flee out of Babylon like that. You can't escape the chip. The chip's going to be implemented everywhere across the earth, man.
That's right.
It's already over there in Europe. They got it over there in Mexico. All you got to do is a little bit of research and you'll find out it's there in Mexico, man. They chipped human traffickers, microchip the people they kidnapped, man.
That's right.
What are you talking about? People are bugged out, man. Read it again from the top, that one.
This is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon, man. Spiritually. You got to be spiritually separated. Your umbilical cord cut off. Stop being a little baby. Want to be in your mommy's crib. Under your mommy's titty. Like the Lord said, who shall I teach knowledge to? Those that are weaned from the milk. Get off that damn nipple already, man. If nobody wants to cut the umbilical cord, get your own pair of scissors and cut that motherfucker off, man. Be a man. The Lord has set up great men to guide you in the way already, man. And none of our apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, are telling anybody to go to any kind of place, man. Why? Because the deliverance is going to be by way of the chariots, man. The mist, flee out of the midst of battle. What do you mean? Get out of that system, that mind frame. Go ahead.
It says, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity.
How do you deliver your soul? Not by going to another land, by the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Scriptures tell you that in James 1:21, it says, put away the superfluity, the naughtiness, but receive the engrafted word, which is able to save your soul. Come on, man.
It says,
we're not in the time of 70 AD. Yahushua came in the scene. He was that sacrifice. He taught the disciples, right, the ones that were given to him at that time. He taught them. He was put to death, resurrected, went to the Father. A few years later, down the road, the Romans came and ransacked Jerusalem, and then they fled by foot. They did have a caravan, a migration, but not this. This deliverance is different, man. It's not like in the time of Egypt. This deliverance is going to be by way of the chariots, man. In a twinkling of an eye. Why is that scripture there in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 then? By the sound of the trump and by a twinkling of an eye, you're going to be caught up in the heavens. What are you talking about, man? Even in Thessalonians, it tells you the same thing. We're going to be caught up in the heavens together.
Revelation says, in the Most High, it says, come out of her, my people. Come out of Babylon, my people. Ye be not partakers of her sins. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean to flee anywhere else.
What does the angel say? Come up hither. The angel tells you, come up hither. It don't say, go over yonder. It says, come up hither. Come up hither, man. Because they're gonna beam you up in the chariot, man. It didn't say go yonder, go on yonder. It didn't say go over there, on the other side of the river, like Joshua told the rebellious Israelites. They didn't want to believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Well, go on the other side of the river where your old fathers and worship your idols, man. Get the fuck out of here. We have our elders. You start paving your own way, you're founded into a false prophet, man. And that's what we're in the last days. And you got a lot of false prophets, a lot of false teachers that don't want to admit they're wrong, and if they get the wrong understanding, they correct it, or they seek counsel to get the right understanding. That's the way you do it. Go ahead. You got some?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 1:24. Because I have called, and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. Yeah, man, like the brother was saying, take heed to counsel. To the true doctrine, the true leaders of Israel. Which are apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Taking heed to their counsel. What you're supposed to be doing. And Elder Tahara has made many videos saying that this isn't the time of 70 AD. It's not the time for you to be running around like, going to Mexico like the brother was saying. And, it's none of that stuff, man. You're supposed to be standing right now firmly for Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right? Taking counsel to the word. Yahushai says that he came in a volume of a book. So that means the whole roll, man.
Preaching the gospel of Yahweh Shem Yahushai in your own town, your city, your nearest downtown, or whatever you want to do. It don't matter, as long as you're being that prophecy as a shining light upon a hilltop, that candlestick. That's it. But like the brother read, he stretched out his hand and no man regarded. A lot of people, they're not regarding this offering. You know? They despise it. They turn their back. They shrug their shoulder away from a brother putting their gentle hand upon their shoulder, say, "Hey man, don't go that way." And they buck up with attitude and shit. That shit's gonna get you killed, man.
Right. Hey, simple like you.
It is like Salakia, brother. It's like you have attitude here in the earth at a job or with some dickhead. What's bound to happen? You're gonna get fired. You're gonna get written up. You're gonna get into a little squabble. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with the Lord. You're gonna find yourself in a fucked up situation. That's the situation I don't want to find myself in. With the Lord, I don't want to fall into the hands of the Lord in that sense. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. You got something to say?
I was just gonna say, like you said earlier, you know, one, love working to its neighbor, but also you said open rebuke is better than secret love. You know, and you saying these things, hey, that's showing love. Get right.
Yeah, repent, man. Humble yourself down, man, because you're proud as hell, man. Bubble Eye Blackfish, he's proud as hell too. All those other camps, those so-called leaders, and all these different other groups, they're proud as hell. You can see the humbleness within the elders of Great Millstone, man. You can see that they're still like a child, man, like childlike, but they're men. They'll still fuck you up. But what I'm saying, they still got that youthful spirit, man. Look at Elder Tar, he still goes out to the highways and the byways, still standing on his feet, man. You don't see him going like this, nothing. He's standing firm, strong, bold. Why? Because the Lord's dealing. The Lord said, when he said in scripture, say he's going to be a strong tree next to a river, planted next to a river, man. You next to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you're going to remain strong, man. Like we read in Sirach 24, it said that he maketh understanding to abound as the river. I forget what river it was, but he makes your understanding to abound as the waters, basically. You can never get rid of the water here on the earth. You'll never, ever accomplish that. You know? You got to humble down, man. It's like the people out here, they ain't humble. They ain't walking in the fear of the Lord. They don't even know what the fear of the Lord is. And they lack that. And what is that? Knowledge. The doctrine. The water that we keep telling, the prophecies.
Back in Jeremiah 51, continuing on verse 6, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense.
Yep, those plagues by way of fire, ICBM missile, and his curse that's coming from the heaven upon Esau, the UFOs, so-called UFOs, the chariots. That's a curse unto Esau, man. Because there's no way in hell you're gonna be able to fight against those chariots with your fucking airplanes, man. Your jets. It's gonna be a beautiful sight, don't get me wrong, but you ain't gonna win.
It says verse 7, Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand.
Because he used Babylon as a whipping stick. Whenever Israel was going off in the book of 2 Kings, they were always going off, right? After the split of King Solomon, or after King Solomon passed away, they were always going off. And then ultimately, Jeremiah prophesied of them going into the Babylonian captivity. First, they were under the Assyrian captivity, but the Babylonians came and fucking jacked them up, man. And he was a golden cup in the hand of the Most High. Meaning that he perfected that ass whooping, man. Go ahead. But now America's likened unto Babylon in Revelations. Great Babylon, Mystery Babylon.
It says, that made all the earth drunken.
Yep, made all the earth drunken by way of what? Its philosophies, its pseudoscience, the doctrines, the ideologies, right? Everything that he teaches you in the schools, colleges, all that shit's garbage. It's lies. It's not the whole truth. Go ahead.
The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
Therefore the nations are mad, man. Because now everybody's looking like, damn, this bitch was lying to me the whole time. You know? Go ahead.
It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed.
If so be that she may be healed, which she can't. She won't be healed. Yahweh told Jeremiah, pray not for this people, man.
That's right.
He's repented enough. He's done. He winked at you too much. The time of Esau's number is up. His days have been determined. And we're just letting you know. The expiration date has been a long time past. Now it's coming to a point where that shit's rotten. It's rotten. The milk is spoiled. There's flies all around it. Stinks. And that's how America is, man. The place stinks. Dirty. It's infested with filth. It's a cesspool with pedophiles, witches, warlocks, homosexuals. Even the animals are all fucked up, man. The trees. I remember when I was young, man. We were talking about this at work. At my grandparents' house, man, we had pomegranate trees, apricot, peach trees. We had figs, pecans. We had raspberries. The vines growing on the fence. We had all that, honeysuckles. I remember whenever I wanted something sweet, I would go to that flower bed. It's not a bed, but it's like a bush, and it brings forth white flowers. And you pluck it off, and at the bottom it's like a green little thing, and you pull it, and a little, I forget what they call it in the word, but you pull it out from the flower, and it has a little drop of honey, and you just, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's how we, when I was a kid, I mean, I got candy and shit like that, but when they wouldn't give me, I would just go to the tree. I would go to the flower. And it's beautiful because the angel Uriel told Ezra to eat the flowers of the field, man. You know, he was eating the honey. He was, eating something. The flower itself, eating it. It's good for you. You know what I'm saying? Now nothing bears fruit no more, man. Everything's dying. Everything it's been stumped. It's like the Lord. Well, Esau is a reason for a lot of this shit, but the Lord put a hold, like he paused it. You know how like when people like in the comics, the movies, where like a God comes through and everything just slows down.
Right.
Like you could tell they freeze, but they're like barely moving. But he stops time. You know, that's like what Yahweh Shema has done. He's like, no, stop. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's still going, but nothing's coming to its fullest no more, man. Right. The earth is not yielding its fruit to Esau no more. And that was a curse that was given up to Adam, man. He's gonna live by the sweat of the brow, busting your ass day in, day out. Fucking tired of doing that shit, man. Tired of fucking working for this kingdom, man. And it's for nothing. But we have to pay bills, subject to payments. But that's coming to an end close to brothers that are weary, exhausted. Because the scriptures say that in the book of Daniel, that dragon shall wear out the saints, man. But spiritually, we're strong, man. You got to believe that you're strong in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. You're gonna triumph over this place called Babylon, man.
That's right. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies.
Because the sin of her has reached the heavens, man. So the Most High is like, oh hell no, this is getting too damn close to my throne. I need to go down there and destroy this shit. Just like in the time of Noah. When he looked down, he saw that there was nothing but wickedness set in the hearts of men continually. Then he rose up Noah and gave him instructions to build the ark and to preach. He was a preacher of righteousness. Up to the point when those doors were shut, they were all wiped away, man. They were destroyed. We're doing the same thing, man. You know? I think that's it on that. That's all I was wanting.
That's it.
You can go back to that one. The plagues. Second Ezra.
Second Ezra.
You could drop that one in Second Peter.
This is Second Ezra 15 and verse 5. It says, "Behold, saith Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled."
Babylon. Babylon, her sins have reached the heavens, and she, in Isaiah 47, it said that she had been, how does it say in Isaiah 47? It says, I was wroth with my people, I polluted my inheritance, and given them into thine hand, that didst show them no mercy upon the ancient that has verily heavily laid thy yoke. You see? So the Most High is coming back to recompense all that to you. Because he wore a golden cup in his hand, but that was just to be used. Now he's like, man, I don't need this damn cup no more. He's tossing you out. He's done. He used you. Now he's coming back to gather those that you unrighteously judged, man. Read that last part again.
Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 6, "For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled."
And Babylon's hurtful works are fulfilled, man. Esau's works are fulfilled. His days have been determined. The writing's on the wall, man. You've been weighed in the balance and you've been found wanting. You're lacking. So now you have to answer to the Creator himself, man. You're gonna have to, and you're already being questioned. If you're as smart as you are, you're already being questioned by way of us brothers on the highways and the byways.
That's right. Hey, like when you're at the house, when you live with your parents, and your mom called for you, you're like, nah, I don't want to go. So you ignore her. What is she gonna do? She's gonna meet you at the door. She's gonna be like, hey, I've been calling you.
With the little bit open like that, with her hand hidden over here. Hey, girl, I told you what to get in. What kill? Chill, what kill. And then when you pass, damn fly swatter or something. Yeah.
It says, verse 7, "Therefore saith Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, I will hold my tongue no more,
Yep.
as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit."
Yeah, and that's what I was quoting earlier. That's where it was. The Lord's no longer gonna hold his tongue no more. His speech, he's gonna make it known. And that's what he's doing by way of us men on the highways and the byways, man. Being diligent. Coming out in and out of season. To the best of our ability, man. Doing this thing that we have to fulfill. Go ahead.
It says, "Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves."
Because the Lord said he gave no man no license to sin. He ain't down with you. That's what they teach you in the churches. Say, oh, it's okay. The Lord will forgive you. You can do what makes you happy. The Lord's with you. No, man. You cannot do that. Read that part again.
No. It says, "Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves."
It's plain. That's plain. Go ahead.
It says, "Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me."
Who is the innocent righteous blood? Starting with we can start out with Abel. The prophets, the patriarchs, the prophets, the apostles, Yahweh Shai, and those brothers on the highways and the byways. We're the ones crying out. And in men's eyes, our family's eyes, friends' eyes of the world may not think we're innocent. But it's not about what the fuck you think. It's not about what you think on the camera either. It's about what Yahweh Shai has justified. He's justified his elect.
That's
The scriptures say we're in all our righteousness we're still as filthy rags. In all our righteousness we're still as filthy rags. But Yahweh Shai, he has justified the elect, the chosen. Men, women, children. Go ahead.
That's right. The Most High has decreed a decree, man. Who could turn it back? You know? If he said that this brother is good and you're not, what are you gonna do, man? You can't do anything. You know? Kind of going back to that mom thing. You know, when my brothers did something, and I did it too, but I would get an ass whooping. You know, there's nothing I could do. I couldn't turn that ass whooping to them. You know, that was given to me.
Yeah, you had to accept it. You had to take it. You know. Go ahead.
It says, and the souls of the just complain continually.
And the souls of the just are complaining continually, man. What are they complaining about? They're complaining with the injustice that's being in the earth, man. It could be anything. You brothers that complain, as long as you're not found complaining against the Lord wants you to send complaints. He wants you to complain about what's going on in this earth, on how you're being treated in this earth. And people don't realize it, but they're set up just to seal up their own fate, man. They don't have to hear the truth. Just by dealing with you in an unjust manner, the Lord is fucking pissed with that shit, man. Like the scriptures say, He's never given any license to men to sin. And He never told any man to work ill towards his neighbor. So people should have common sense. Hey, man, I shouldn't be messing with this guy like that. I shouldn't be messing with him. Go ahead.
It says, verse 9, and therefore saith Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them.
Starting with Abel, man. Abel's blood still to this day is crying out. We're crying out for his justice upon Cain. Who is Cain? Esau. Read that part again.
It says,
the Lord shall avenge.
And therefore saith Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, I will surely avenge them.
And that's what we're wanting. You should be wanting to be avenged for the things that have been done to you here in the earth, man, to your people. And the Lord telling you He's going to do it. He's our big brother, Yahweh Shai. He's our Savior. But when I say a big brother, it's like, you know, you're the little brother, you're getting picked on, but then you got your big brother and you see him come around the corner or running down the street and you see him and you just know he's going to fuck those dudes up. That's how it is with Yahweh Shai, man.
He's seen as the tall one among us.
Yep. It's in 2nd Ezra chapter 2. Or yeah. Go ahead.
It says, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them.
And the innocent blood that He's going to receive is the elect, the chosen. It's part of the prophecy, man. He that leadeth into